clicking it twice. And now
off to the races. We're live. Checkmate King 2. Well, this is a white Robert.
1, 2, testing. 1, 2.
Oh, beautiful, boys, beautiful, great test. Oh, we have a special guest in the background here in the there he is. Bill, how are you?
Oh, Bill,
I had half my bottom arch broke on me today.
Oh no,
it just snapped.
Well, Bill, watch what you're saying because we're live already. If you don't want anybody to hear
okay. Well, everybody knows now.
Okay, here we go now. I think I got an echo here. It's probably me. Let me get the echo here. Okay. I got to plug in here. Hold on, guys. It's a bad show tonight. I got to get plugged in.
Welcome to DroneNation, everybody. I don't know which episode this is. It's going to take Ron to tell you that, but it looks like DeMarco brought the snacks, and Bill is here to.
I brought the drinks.
He's got the drinks. He's going to loan us his expertise this evening on some DJI drones.
All the way.
What you not kidding around?
All right,
we're plugged in now here. Okay, are we ready, folks?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and welcome into DroneNation 4. November 3rd, 2025. I can't believe it's November already. And this episode is titled "Is the DJI Neo 2 Worth Upgrading To?" So we're going to dive into that a little bit later on the show here. We got the normal cast here. DeMarco is back. He was on assignment last week, but he is back tonight. And our special guest all the way from sunny Florida is Bill, the drone reviewer. But we have to go to the most important business of the day here, DeMarco. This is DeMarco's Fearless Monday Night Forecast. And tonight, did we get the game last? Oh, you weren't here last week. You set your pick in. Did we get it right?
I won it. Yeah.
Okay, we got it right. And I think when you weren't here, Johnny picked the World Series, and I'm not sure if you got that right that night. But hey, before I get to anything, how about let's say congrats to the Los Angeles Dodgers World Series champs, the first back-to-back National League champion since the big red machine of the mid-'70s, Bill. That takes you back some, huh?
Well, I got to say this. The Blue Jays blew it. They totally blew it.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest choke job in World Series history. I will say that till the day I die. I watched Game 7. Man, you don't give up pitches like that to those guys where they knock them out of the park. And you have 2 on, nobody out, and you don't score. You have runners on. You have bases loaded and 1 out, and you don't score. I mean, wow.
Yeah. But anyhow, again, congrats to the Dodgers. Okay, let's get on to the current events here. We have the Arizona Cardinals with a record of 2-5 versus the Dallas Cowboys with a record of 3-4-1. Yes, I did say 3-4-1. They tied somebody. The Cowboys are home and they're giving away 3.5 points tonight. Now, how do you see this game tonight? We got 2. We don't have the world's greatest teams here. They both have losing records. This could be a little tough to call.
Yes, this is a tough call, especially with the Cowboys being at home. I would want to pick the Cowboys though, but they let me down every time. So I hate to say it. I'm going to have to pick the Cardinals.
That's a bold prediction. The Arizona Cardinals
I'm going to pick the Bears. I'm going to pick the Bears. Okay. I watched the end of that game. And no, I saw Jay Bird. I'm sorry. I know you're a Bengals fan, but I'm laughing all the way home. Oh my gosh.
It's a new Bears team this year, huh? You guys really putting the show yesterday, DeMarco.
The Bears. Memories of Mike Ditka and the Bears and the fridge and all that. I'm like loving it, especially against the Bengals. No, I was laughing all the way home. Oh my gosh. My wife heard me. She said, "What are you laughing about?" And I told her.
Of course, tomorrow night on Steeler Nation, we're going to talk about the Steelers' surprise victory over the top team in the AFC yesterday afternoon. So
I got some good thoughts on that to share with you all.
Hey, have you guys heard that DJI is coming out with a new drone?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Did we talk about drones tonight? Okay, folks, sorry. We're done with football and sports tonight. If you want to hear more sports, come to Build the Drone Review.
Tomorrow night.
The Steeler Nation at the end of Build the Drone Review show tomorrow night.
That's right.
We got a lot to talk about.
We will have it all for you tomorrow night.
Yes.
Come on, Cardinals.
But we're gonna Marcus get a little teaser here, but we're gonna not like jump into the Avata 2 right away. Now I got a little graphic to put up here, folks. So we're going to
I've got an Avata 2 right here.
We're going to talk about the DJI Osmo Action 6 with a bigger sensor, a variable aperture, and a possible November 19th launch here. Now, just to go over a few things here real quick here. According to multiple leaks, DJI is preparing to unveil the Action 6 on the 19th of this month. Early reports hint at bold upgrade. A 1 over 1.1 inch CMOS sensor, significantly larger than the one in the previous models. And remember that bigger sensors usually mean less noise and you know high ISOs or whatever, better low light too. A variable aperture on an action camera, f2 to f4, something almost unheard of in the action camera world. This helps us to avoid using high shutter speeds during closing the diaphragm on the lens. I'd often say diaphragm on this show. Wow. Supports 8K video at 30 frames per second, just like the Osmo 360, with a rumored price tag of around $329. How do they get cheaper with all of this stuff? Dual OLED displays, front and rear, and a 1950 milliamp battery for longer recording times. So I'll go to anybody in the panel. Marcus, I'll go to you.
Well,
You've thoughts?
Ron, that's a great price. It's a fantastic price for a drone. A bigger sensor is always good, right? A bigger sensor helps with stability, right? Because they're moving that the image around on that sensor to get the stability that we like. However, all this stuff about variable aperture and all that, if DJI wants to build a mirrorless photographer's video camera, do it. But this is an action camera. So I just think it's just a way overreach is what I would say.
Marcus, you make a great point there. Who's skiing down the mountain at however fast they go, 60 miles per hour, and they stop to adjust their variable aperture in the middle of mid-flight?
Well, let me ask you this, Ron, and just even with what you do, because you and I kind of do the same thing. I was with Ted Bowman this weekend. We were up on the mountain and using our action cameras. I don't think either one of us stopped to put it in manual mode to adjust the settings on it, right? The whole point of an action camera is ease of use and being able to capture what's happening in that instance.
I mean, a lot of the variable aperture is, you can manually put it to the widest aperture. So if you're trying to get the low light, I think they said f.2 thing. You could keep on f2.2 even if the camera may want to bump it higher. So, but yeah, I'm skeptical of how these features could be. Here's the little pictures of it up there too. It looks like it says actually it looks like it has like a little sensor right beside the thing there too. Like maybe.
Will you buy one, Ron?
We'll go to this question in a second. I'll go to Bill on this. Has this been FCC approved? Because if it hasn't, I'm guessing that between what happened last week, what we talked about is there a second, I don't think any more DJI products are going to get FCC approval from now until the 23rd.
I don't think it's been approved. There hasn't been anything about that. So
and Bill, explain to the folks why an action camera needs FCC approval.
But, and I'm going to throw this up, and Marcus brought up a great point. Okay, variable aperture, what? Seriously. Action 5, seriously, that's the best camera that DJI's come out with, bar none, okay? That thing is just golden in my book, and it's like, okay, you're going to improve on the best, all right? So you throw a variable aperture on it, and people are going to stop halfway down the hill or halfway on their motocross to change it. Seriously, that's not going to happen. Well, first of all, I don't think we'll be able to get it because I don't think it's been FCC approved. Because you have wireless communication. With that.
Even action cameras need FCC approval because they do broadcast Wi-Fi signals.
Right, they do broadcast Wi-Fi, and that's how you do your updates through the phone and everything. So, that's why they would need FCC approval.
One more comment with that regard, where I agree with you, Bill. If it doesn't get FCC approval, we won't be able to buy it through normal channels. But what we have discovered is that if there's demand, somebody will find a way And
yeah.
I'm willing to bet that no matter what, we'll see them on eBay. It's probably not places like Amazon, but I'll bet you they'll be.
Oh yeah, they'll be on eBay.
AliExpress or eBay or yeah.
But the problem's going to be, number one, the big problem on this is going to be, if you know that it's illegal and you're using it here in the United States, if it hasn't been approved. I mean, and let me throw in my ham radio hat here. Okay. There's a real popular HT. They call them hand talkies. They're called Baofeng and they're made in China. Okay. A lot of them have not been approved and they still will sell them here in the United States, even on Amazon. Okay. And they don't have an FCC seal on them. And everybody in the ham radio community knows that's like you don't touch those. Okay. You don't want to touch those. So
I totally get your point, Bill, when it comes to something like a ham radio or even a drone, because it's transmitting. But a camera, I don't think anybody would ever look at it.
I know. I'm just believe me, Marcus, I agree with you 100%. But it's because it has a wireless protocol in there, it has to be approved by the FCC. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Koopy has a.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead. What Koopy said?
Well, he's got a point there. He's saying that will DJI let you activate it in the U.S. if it doesn't get FCC approval? And that definitely could be a problem.
No, that would be the stopper. If you couldn't activate it, wouldn't be any good.
Well, what would you do? I suppose there's ways, like if you had a VPN or something, you could, you could say.
How much is it going for? Do you think?
In the camera world, not the action camera, but the old camera world, a lot of people import cameras in from Japan that the models never got released in the U.S. and even regular cameras have Wi-Fi to use the app and stuff like that, and people bring them in. They're for sale all over eBay and places like that. These Japanese camera models. And I've never heard of one person ever get their camera confiscated because they imported in from Japan. It was never meant for the American market. So to whoever's point it was, the getting caught with this, illegal U.S. camera, man, that's going to be an edge case or whatever. If nobody's out there patrolling for drones, who's patrolling for action cameras out there?
Yeah. Well, let me throw in again from my ham radio knowledge. All right, that if you're out there and transmitting, number one, on an illegal band or you're over wattage or things like that, the FCC will find you, okay? I can tell you that right now. I know that for a fact because I know there's ham radio guys, and they will find you, okay? It's not like the FAA and put a slap on it. They will find you, and they will put you in jail, okay? They don't mess around as far as the FCC is concerned. So evidently their enforcement is a lot better than the FAA. I do know that because if you break any of the ham radio rules, if you broadcast on bands you're not supposed to, if you're using an illegal call sign, not your own call sign, if you call for emergency services and there is not an emergency, there's a whole thing, and they'll find you. They will find you. I can tell you that right now.
Hey, wait, but
you could just go ahead and get this camera and never activate the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, well, what and here's a way around that. Okay. What you can do is you can go out to DJI's website and download updates. All right, and that
put it on the memory card and stick it inside. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, go DeMarco. DeMarco, go. Yeah. DeMarco, go.
Thank you. Hey, my point would be this: why even mess with this if something can break on it, and then you can have a service? Why not just use what you get or buy a GoPro? I wouldn't buy this at all. I wouldn't touch it at all. That's it.
Good point.
Yeah,
it's a great point.
And there's no reason for this camera, guys. I mean, seriously, the advantages, maybe a little bit bigger battery. The aperture thing, that's a joke as far as I think most of us are concerned. If you use it as an action cam, I use it either for vlogging or I do B-roll with it. And I'm not going to mess around variable aperture. My Action 5, all right, that thing is the bomb. It does everything I want it to and then some. It doesn't overheat. It's got great battery life. The video I get from it is absolutely stellar. It's easy to use. No need for an Action 6 for me. None.
Can you guys see the box there? They even have it in a box already. Bill, probably the best feature spec about this drone is that $329 price. You may be hard pressed to buy a Action 5 for $329, and
that's probably true. Although the closer it comes to this being on sale, those will go on sale, like the Action 5 Pro. I mean, DJI always does that. Always does that.
Now, here's some of the wording here. It says the larger sensor means cleaner, low light footage. So you know how everybody, the loudest speakers on these shows and stuff like that, reviews are the low light guys. So of course they're going to love that, better low light footage. And then the variable aperture, they gives you creative control. You can measure depth of field and exposure naturally without relying on ND filters every time. Okay, so that's something you don't need the NDs as much. And 8K, that's not about bragging rights, about cropping freedom. It lets you, crop in without losing detail. So again, this seems like the usual, DJI, what do you call it? Like moderate bump up, whatever, incremental upgrade and so on. But yeah, I mean, if we can't get this in the US, I mean, I won't lose any sleep over it.
Nope. I agree. Hey, so Johnny Drone Flyer's making an appointment. A good point. He says, ditch the meter campaign. So you remember when we used to have to use light meters, Ron, to adjust our cameras? So the point of it is, with these kind of automatic cameras, we don't have to use a light meter anymore.
Yeah, I remember using light meters back when I was in college or whatever. Yeah.
Good call, Johnny.
Yeah, and thanks for your generous donation there, Super Chat, Johnny. Send that man a free T-shirt or something. Wait, he's the one who usually sends us a free T-shirts. But okay, enough about action cameras. I know we've already spent too much time on action cameras here. Let's go to Igor. I don't even have a little thing here because it doesn't really say anything. Let me get rid of this graphic here. Igor Bogdan, I'm just calling him Igor B on X or Twitter this morning. He posted this morning. He said, "Good news for all of us. DJI Avata 360 is confirmed." So we've heard rumors about this since the summer when anti-gravity was announced. So that sounds like DJI is turning the beloved Avata FPV drone into a 360 drone. Say it isn't so, Bill.
They're jumping on the bandwagon with anti-gravity, and I know you're going to talk about that because it was they did a stint in the World Series with that. And again, I'll keep coming back to it. I know Johnny and Ray and I talked about it last week, and we've talked about it before ad nauseum. Okay, 360 cameras are great, but you know what? The time that it takes for you to do post-processing with that, even with, and I know, Ron, you've said, with the apps, with the Insta360s, they make a difference. But for what you get, for what the effort that you have to put into it, I mean, I just don't see the connect. I know a lot of guys will think it's great and everything, but they have to realize how much time it's going to take in your workflow, whether you're using DaVinci or Final Cut Pro or whatever, you have to go through a process to get it on there. And, my whole thing with this, obviously it's too early, but we don't know a thing about this, is how in the heck that's going to work. I mean, there's no.
And back to the end, the key is if you edit 360 video every day, you'll get fast and good at it, right? But if you only do it once in a blue moon, you'll never get muscle memory and how to do it quickly.
So, Ron, you made another great point about 360 cameras. You made the point the other day that you have to be really close to something to be able to see it very well because it's such a wide angle view.
Widest angle you've ever seen. Yes.
Yeah, everything's off in the distance. So there's that.
I mean,
too.
so say we're out at a meetup or something, and somebody's 20 feet away from us or whatever. Man, don't think of filming at all the 360 camera. You better walk up to whether you're 5 feet of them, or you won't even know who they are.
Right.
So, example. Now, Bill brought up the anti-gravity. Now, this was released on X today by Hey, this is no leak or rumor, guys. This is from the horse's mouth. This is anti-gravity themselves. So let me go in and see if I can make this bigger. They apparently were at the World Series. I think why is a palm tree at the World Series? I must not be. get that music down.
Oh.
So yeah, so drones usually aren't allowed to fly sporting events, but I guess anti-gravity got a special waiver.
I heard they got like a 5-minute waiver to be able to do that. So
Oh wow,
during the game itself.
You got the players on the field too. Wow.
That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, that's pretty cool.
but even there, do you see how far away you were from everything, kind of, except for this one shot there? You need to fly close to stuff. I guess this is in a loop here, but anyways, let's get this stopped here as it's looping. And yeah, so anti-gravity's, you've been making news a little bit here. Well, they've been published themselves. It looks like they're still on course to get themselves released. What was it, Bill, around the first of the year?
Yeah, it's going to be around the first of the year. You know, give them some credit for some great marketing savvy and everything when they did everything like this. But again, the whole thing with this is this processing of this. Like you said, if you do this day in and day out, you get good at it. But you know what? Almost all of us, we don't do instant 360 or 360 camera work day in and day out. We're good at processing 4K 60, 4K 120, photographs, whatever, putting LUTs in, that kind of thing with Final Cut Pro. We're all good at that, but majority of us aren't good with Insta360 or a 360 camera. And for me, okay, like I said, for B-roll, okay, I'd be interested in something like that. But as long as it doesn't come with, it takes, for example, if I do a 20-minute video, all right, it takes me all told from the time I start on DaVinci and I got all my clips lined up till I'm done, about 45 minutes to an hour, okay, to process, say, a 15 or 20-minute video, to get all the edits done, get it processed, and get it out on YouTube, all right? Not even get it out, just finished in DaVinci Resolve, okay? Imagine if I'm incorporating 360 footage into that, okay? I'm going to have to do a pre-processing for that before I can drop it into DaVinci, all right? And you know what? I'm not going to take the time to do that because, like I said, I use my Action 5 for B-roll when I'm doing that, or I use my smartphone for B-roll, okay? I'm not gonna mess with something that I'm gonna have to go overboards to try to do something with. I want my workflow, and I'm sure Mark is the same way. Ron, you're the same way. DeMarco, you don't jump. You don't want to have anything extra to have to worry about. You want to get your clip in. You want to cut it. You want to clip it. You want to preview it. All that kind of stuff. 360 is just going to complicate.
Bill, you make a good point, and what you just saw there, that clip from the World Series. Notice how that was probably done entirely inside of the Insta360, either desktop or the phone app, because there were no other scenes in it. They didn't have to bring that into Resolve or Final Cut or anything, because they didn't put any other clips in but the 360 clips. So if your only intention is to make 360, it's not as bad. But if your intention is to incorporate that 360 video into a bigger video, that's when your workflow you described comes into play.
Let me distill this down for you. What those 360 cameras are, they're a niche product, and like you just explained, Ron, it's for doing something like that, just a little clip like that you can throw up there, or in some cases you're incorporating it as B-roll, but as Bill said, it takes a lot of extra work. Hey, I want to acknowledge Ted Bowman put in the chat there. He said, "Great day Saturday, Marcus." So can I explain about what that's all about, Ron, for a minute?
Yeah, you go right ahead, Marcus.
So Ted invited me up this past Saturday to go up into, and their drones are related to this. So to go up into the Oahe Mountains with his side-by-side. He's got a really nice side-by-side four-wheel drive vehicle, and went up there with some of his friends. And Ted knows those mountains like the back of his hand. He was saying, turn here, turn there. And we just did a big old loop. I don't know how far we went, Ted. Did we go 50 miles? I'm kind of guessing maybe a big 50-mile loop. And we went into the historic Silver City, it's called. It's a mining town, primarily silver, hence the name, up there in the Oahe Mountains. But we took our drones with us, and we launched up there in the mountains and got some just fabulous footage, and we spread the kind of the gospel of drones a little bit to those other guys that were with us. They freaking loved it. In fact, another gentleman that was with us, his name was Don. I think he probably went out. He may have bought one already. I don't know. Ted might know. I'll bet you he went and bought one already. So my point is this: we are in fall, and this is among the best times ever to be out there flying your drones. And I wasn't going to miss an opportunity like Ted provided for me there. But there's another part to this, Ron, and it involves you. While we were out there, Ted asked me, he goes, "Do you think Ron Brown would like an adventure like this?" And I said, "Not yes, but heck yes." What do you think, Ron?
Oh, I would love to do something like that. I don't think I've ever like 360'd in the mountains or whatever before. I mean, only thing I've ever done in the mountains is drove a car on a real road through the mountains. So yeah, that would be something I really look forward to if that chance would ever come up.
Yeah, I did see those pictures you posted, Marcus. That was wonderful. That sounded like a lot of fun. It really did.
And we did some serious four-wheeling. And the cool thing about his vehicle, it's a Polaris General, and it's a four-seater, so you can get four people in it. Really a top-of-the-line rig. But you are going places that you're not even going to go in a Jeep with that thing. I mean, some of the trails.
Wow.
Some of the trails we went up, you'd have one wheel in the air and teeter totter over on the other wheel and get your way up. It was a lot of fun. We really had a great time. So here's the deal. I suspect if you guys are ever in Idaho, I bet you Ted would invite you along.
Thank you, Ted, for the invite. I hope to take you up on that someday.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to explain what his comment was about there. So I kind of got way, I went into the weeds there a little bit.
That's great, Marcus.
What'd you have with you, Marcus? Drones.
I took the Mini 5 Pro, as did Ted.
Oh, okay. DeMarco, have you ever done anything like that?
Side by side with a drone? No. Yeah. I don't have cool friends around me like Master Ted.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of Do you have a lot of mountains where you live, DeMarco?
Yeah. South of us. South of us,
Okay.
like 45 minutes to in Fayetteville. But I've often thought about flying that though. But you got to watch out going up there because not a lot of people that look like me.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
Well, there were
handsome. I mean,
handsome. Yeah,
very handsome.
We hope to see more wildlife. We did see some bighorn sheep, which was really cool, but it was in the middle of hunting season, and so I think all the deer and antelope were gone. So
well, we got plenty of wildlife now here in Florida.
Antelope play.
Yeah, that's right. Where the deer and the antelope play.
Well, wildlife is making its appearance like crazy right now because it's gotten cold down here. So the reptiles are deciding to sun themselves and go in places where they can get warmth, and it really kind of doesn't matter where it's at right now. So it
could be your back patio, Bill.
Oh yeah, like back patios, and I'm just not talking about the gators. I'm talking about snakes too.
Snakes, right?
Oh yeah, they're because the weather's cold. They come out, they go in places, and that's why they say make sure you close your garage. People around here leave their garage doors open. I'm like, you're just inviting trouble when you do that.
Trouble.
Bad
hey,
news.
Ted is also mentioning wild horses. We saw a big herd of wild horses while we were up there too.
Oh,
yeah.
Huh. So, okay, let's get on to some maybe not the best news of the week here. Since we did the last show, the FCC, the board over there, had voted 3-0 to give themselves the power to retroactively pull FCC approvals for older drones that are they're on the cover list. But what does that mean for the drone we already own? Well, first of all, Marcus and I talked about this today. DJI is not on the cover list. I mean, not as right this moment, but they're not on the cover list. So that's not going to affect any DJI drones right now. But what people worry about when they do go in the cover list, they're worried about not being able to fly the drones they do have. But by what I've seen, a couple of people post like different segments from it and highlighted whatever. what it's going to do is it's going to allow them to actually stop the sale of drones that have been currently approved, say Mini 5 Pro, Mavic 4 Pro, Air 3. I said sales of those in the U.S. will no longer be approved. But if we already own those drones or whatever, they won't take that right away from us to fly those drones. Bill, is that the way you're reading it also?
Yeah, and I've been at it with some people about like the FCC and the spectrum and bands and things like that.
Yeah.
And just to let everybody know, and I know Droney Oki and Waypoint New England, there's several who are ham guys as well too with me. What I can tell you is that it's an involved process to change the spectrum or the frequencies in the band, okay? And it's just not, the FCC has a blanket approval to do this, okay? They just can't do that. It's a process. It's a legal process. And it probably takes a year or more to actually shut down part of a spectrum or allow more parts of the spectrum. And what's been real common now is the big telecommunications companies like AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile and so forth, they're looking for more bandwidth, okay? Not less, obviously. They want to have more bandwidth for their 5G and 4G networks and all this. Okay, so they have to go through a process to apply for that, all right? And the same is to take that away. Even the FCC, if it wants to take it away, it just can't do that. It has to go through a process. It has to run through Congress, and more often than not, it'll get challenged in courts. And normally, anything like that is going to take probably about a year or more. Now, what that ruling is, and a lot of people aren't real clear about that, and I wanted to kind of clear this up. What it gives them the power to do is it's against nations that are on, that are on the national security, pose a national security threat to the United States. Okay, that's how the language was worded in that. So that's why people say on the covered list. Well, of course, you have to be placed on that covered list. And we all know what December 23rd means, because if none of the alphabet agencies do anything by December 23rd, okay, it's going to be, they'll go on the covered list. Now, one thing is really is just, I could not be more upset about right now and it's not any of us, and it's not a lot of people that we know, but other people out there are putting out videos. DJI drones banned, okay? They're putting out clickbait videos, and nothing ticks me off more than people doing that just to get flipping views and stuff out there. When I went in there on a couple of them, I said you should change the title of your video because it's pure clickbait and it's completely false. Okay, you need to change that. I mean, I got under my hair about that because it's not true right now. And
Bill, the thing is, I get just as mad as you do. I totally can relate to what you're saying. But you look at those guys that do those videos, you know why they're going to keep doing it? Because it frickin' gets views.
That gets views, yeah.
You're looking at somebody you never heard of before, and they've got 25 subscribers, and that video about the DJI ban will get 8,000 views or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, Marcus. You hit the nail on the head. They're not going to stop that, but you know what? Yeah. I felt, why not? I'm just exercise, and I did it in a polite way. I'm saying, that is not correct information. This is the correct information, kind of a thing. That kind of thing. But most of us who we know, they're posting true stuff about this. Okay, most of the people that will comment on our videos and that are putting out videos that we know within our circle, they're doing right. Okay, they're doing right by this. But it just, like you said, it gets me burned to a crisp when people are passing false information out there. I just don't go there. Just don't go there with me.
I know you guys are a little bit of a rant here, but we got breaking news from Johnny Drone Flyer here. Newsflash, Johnny said he just got an email from 00 Robotics. The V-Copter Minis will be shipping next week. Now, you guys all know the story. The V-Copter Mini came out this summer, was out for about just a little over a month, and then it got pulled because of supposedly a battery issue catching on fire or something like that. And they required you to destroy all your batteries and V-Copters, and they would send you a replacement one. And it was supposed to happen in November, and it is November now. And Johnny got the email that it'll be shipping next week, so they're right on schedule. So that's good news, right?
Johnny, I want you to know I'll give you $25 for it. $25, man. Cash money.
And John would be the first one to get his in probably.
Oh yeah, he'll get serial number 001 on it on his.
Yeah.
We know he greases the wheels of 00 Robotics. Come on, everybody knows Johnny does that. He probably sends them 10 pounds of Louisiana crawfish and shrimp out there, and they go nuts. And Johnny gets what he wants.
Johnny says, newsflash, probably the CEO of 00 probably gave him a direct call.
I don't doubt that for a second. Absolutely not. Okay. And Johnny probably gave up some secret recipes to him as well too. I mean,
So, and of course, 00, they probably were worried about that board. Bill, what do you think of that board over the FCC when they voted through to grant themselves more power? That doesn't sound very good. You were able to grant yourself more power. I mean, DroneNation, can we grant ourselves more power here to maybe let more DJI drones in? Why don't we grant ourselves more power?
Well, what I can tell you is, if I'm looking at two agencies that I know fairly well, the FAA and the FCC has some serious clout in this country. I mean, just some serious clout. Like if somebody complained long enough and hard enough about, say, a network and some of the things that they were programming on that network, the FCC could shut a network down, like ABC, CBS, NBC, that kind of thing. Okay. If they're complaining about something on there long enough, they can shut them down for an indefinite period of time. They have that kind of clout. The FAA doesn't have that kind of clout for some reason. And I never have really understood that. But the FCC really can pack a punch with what they can do here. And so, I mean, it was going to be rubber stamped anyway, this vote on the FCC, this 3-0, because it's all internal. It's all them. There's no Congress. There's no other factions involved. This board, it's all FCC members. So it's like, yeah, it was going to be a 3-0 vote anyway. Okay.
So it was a rigged election, Bill, or a rigged vote?
Yeah. I mean, that was completely, that was going to happen like this. But again, to let everybody know, okay, nothing's been said yet about DJI. Okay. So anything you read about a DJI drone ban, that has not happened yet. Okay. So my best advice to you, if you want a DJI drone, go out to eBay, vet a seller, and get one now.
So another clarification, if let's just say for the sake of argument that they revoked the license for the Mini 5 that we already bought, we'd still be legal flying it. It would be the future drone. In other words, once they put that in place, if you ordered a Mini 5 after that, then it would not be licensed.
And you couldn't register it. That would be the thing.
Right. The ones that we
hit the nail on the head, Marcus. Like you couldn't go out to that FAA website like when you register your drones. It wouldn't let you do that.
Right.
Because of serial number.
That's bad for Bill. So if you say you currently own a drone or one of these drones that gets their FCC approved, and you want to sell that drone, you have to unregister that drone, and a new owner would have to re-register it. So that won't happen anymore. You basically can't.
You're basically,
you can sell a drone, but the new owner won't be able to register it.
It's a great point. Yeah.
Now that won't matter for Mini. That won't matter for the Mini 5 because the new owner would not have to register as long as they weren't flying commercially.
Well, hell, why would we sell our Mini 5s? It'd be the last great Mini we could ever buy. So we never sell it.
Marcus has a good point, though. Okay. I went into this with eyes wide open when I bought the Mini 5 Pro and the Mavic 4 Pro. Okay. Knowing full well, if I never sell those, I'm fine with that because, well, in fact, I just bought an extra second battery for the Mavic 4 Pro. All right. And I'm going to buy a second extra battery for the Mini 5 Pro. And I actually bought extra charging and supplies. And I'm going to talk about that in a video. But the thing is, okay, the time to do it, the time to take action is now while you can before anything else happens because, the clock is ticking to December 23rd. And if you want to if you're on the fence, get off the fence, go out there, vet a seller on eBay and buy them. And by the way, and I want to say this too, and I think, people will appreciate this. Okay. I've had a lot of people ask me about what sellers I've used and I posted them in my videos, but I have to tell you this, their inventory changes on a daily basis. Okay. They may not be carrying that. All right. Number one. Number two, you need to vet these eBay sellers on your own, okay? You need to go out there. You need to look not only at their feedback, but on their feedback on these items that you're interested in purchasing from them. And you want to make sure that they're over 100 on their feedback. If they're under 100, I would steer clear of them because I learned a lesson this week. Okay. I bought some Mavic 4 extra props from somebody. Okay. It had DJI on it and everything. Okay. They got here. They're not OEM. All right.
Oh.
And I said, okay, I filled out a return form on eBay and I'm going to send it back to him. He's going to give my money back. And I went out there and I looked and I asked the seller the question, are these DJI OEM props in DJI packaging? And they said, yes, I found somebody. So I'm going to buy them from them.
Good point there. Okay, well, listen, let's get off this vote thing here so we can get to the Neo 2. But a couple other quick ones here. And I think Marcus has something to say here. Let me ask you the question. Have recent firmware and app updates caused issues with precision landing on drones such as the Mini 5 Air 3S? And when I say the Air 3S is knobby, and I think Sean and the Drone have both done videos where they show their Air 3S is no longer precision landing like in the middle of the pad anymore on the H or whatever. And Marcus did a little testing today with this issue with his Mini 5 Pro up at the Canyon or
No, I was just a local park.
Heroes Park.
No, I was actually at Kleiner Park.
Kleiner, okay.
But let me explain to you the whole premise here. It's kind of funny. So, in fact, Saturday when I was up in the mountains with Ted, my drone came back. Ted's landed right on the pad. Mine was about 3 feet off the pad, or more even. I had to cancel the landing and land it manually. And it's been like that. So my last several landings, it just didn't get a precision landing. And I do the whole thing where you take it up 7 meters like it says to do in the manual before you move off, do all that stuff. In any case, my theory was this. I had never done any kind of calibrations on that drone. I'd never done a compass calibration, an IMU calibration, or even a gimbal calibration, right? So my theory was that particularly that IMU calibration, could that be affecting how well my drone found that landing pad? Well, so what I was going to do in the video is take off before I did any calibration, send the drone out, bring it back to a precision landing, and prove that it's not going to hit the pad. It's going to be about 3 foot off. What did it do, Ron? It hit right in the middle of the H.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I did it again, sent it out again. Yeah, again, right in the middle of the H. Well, okay. Enough of that. I went ahead then and I showed how to do all of those calibrations, did them out there in the field, took off, and the drone went out again, and it got a precision landing. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. Why I wasn't getting precision landings, I have no clue. All of a sudden it worked. So
well, I have, and conversely, since day one with me with the Mini 5, it's been precision right in the middle of the H each time. Right. Now I did do an IMU calibration before I took it out for its first flight. That's one of the things. And you know who got me? You know who got me hooked on that? Our good friend Lauren. Okay, because he does an IMU calibration on that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that. It stuck the landing every time. And especially what really impressed me on one of the landings, and it's a video I haven't released yet, I had 15 or 20 mile an hour crosswinds, and you could see the Mini 5 Pro was just going like back and forth, back and forth. It still stuck the H.
Stuck the landing. Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Yeah, that was very impressive.
Interesting. Well, I haven't got to test any of the drones to see if precision landing is not working well yet or whatever. I just haven't made a video where I was trying to show the lady. Hey, I want to cut in for a second here. Johnny Drone Flyers, another update here. I've got the same 00 notice. US. Oh, this is Mike Wright. Sorry, this is Mike Wright telling Johnny he got the same notice from 00. U.S. Customs should receive their tracking number in late November. So, well, I mean,
yeah, I think my cousin Dre said the same thing.
Okay, so people are getting notified here. We don't about late November here. Johnny was talking about earlier, but anyhow, at least I think that's good that they're reaching out to people and letting them know when the drones come. Don't you think so, DeMarco? That's good business by 00 to reach out to people, let them know the drones are on the way.
Oh yeah. Well, aren't they a couple of days late though?
Well, I think they said October or November, but when a company promises you a timeline, usually you know it's going to be the end of that timeline. Nobody ever does anything at the beginning of a timeline.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm glad to see 00 stepping up and getting information out to people. The drones are on the way, because there's been a lot of complaining in the Facebook group lately. Okay, let's move on to our
girls never flew, right?
Well, eventually it didn't fly, but between Mike Wright and Johnny Drone Flyer, they eventually got me flying. Right, they got me flying on a Friday morning afternoon. I finally got the drone flying right, and then guess what happened? The following Monday, the recall hits. So I got a weekend of flying out of the drone before it was grounded. Marcus.
Well, I just wanted to make a point. Bill was talking about his props. I was again, it helps to read the manual once in a while. I was also reading in the manual about the props, and DJI specifically states that those props are a wear item, and that you will have to replace them from time to time. Now, my question is this: I look at those props, and I've never seen any cracking or anything that didn't involve the drone hitting a twig or something going on like that. So my question is to Bill: how do you know when your props are worn out?
Yeah, that is a great question, because I know there was a video, and I don't know whose it was. It was a Mavic 4 Pro, and it crashed because the props had cracks in them, but they weren't discernible cracks. So what that person did, and I forget who it was. Some of you guys may have seen the same video. What they suggested to do is, after you take off, if you have new props on there or for the first time, fly it out about 10 feet, bring it back about 10 feet, do that, go side to side, do some maneuverability testing before you take it high up in the air to make sure the props are functioning okay. And that would be like for a brand new drone, the first time you do something like that. And I know Rick Smith actually got me into that as well too, because just a hint for everybody here: when you see my first flight, it's really my second flight, because what I do is I take it up about 10 feet, I go out about 10 feet, I come back, I do some side to side, that kind of thing, gun it up for another 20 or 30 feet. I test some things, because I don't actually get that up and in the air until I've done all that, and I feel kind of satisfied that the sticks are responding like they should, like it's going up or it's going side to side or it's going down, all that kind of good stuff. So that's what I do first. But yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying. It's impossible to know that. And what makes me think, what's real interesting, Marcus, when you bring up the props, the one thing I think of as cracking is the FEMIs and how they crack. Their shell.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And how the arms cracked on them too, and it was obviously because of inferior material. So, and this is another case. And this is another reason why I tell people, you can go for aftermarket prop holders or landing gear or things like that. But when it comes to props, okay, only go with DJI OEM. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people use the whatchamacallit props.
Master Air Screw is the one, right?
I'm sorry, I'm never going to touch one. And this is a simple reason why, okay? Because DJI OEM props are made for that, okay? And if you use other ones, okay, they can cause problems with the ESCs. They can do overruns. They can clock at a faster rated speed than they're normal to. So I don't touch them. I just use DJI OEM. And the same
DJI
with
drone is tuned to operate with the props that were engineered by DJI. I agree. I don't know why anybody would ever put aftermarket props on their drone. I don't get it.
There's two things I will always buy OEM: batteries and props. Always.
No, I was going to say, it's probably been a couple of years since I bought those master air screw though. But the reason why I was buying them is this was back when the drones were loud. So I had my original Mavic Air that was loud. So I was buying them to have some quieter props though. But I haven't touched them in a long time. That's probably 4 years ago.
That's because you're really smart.
That's right. Well, here,
absolutely.
And I think I got the master air screws for the Avata 1 because remember there were an issue with the DJI props on the Avata 1 where they were cracking and whatever, and I got the master air screws.
That's right. That's a good point. Yeah. Great point,
Yeah.
Ron.
A quick point so we can get out of here and get to the Neo 2. I did see a couple reports that the tips on the Mavic 4 Pro, the tips of those props seem to be breaking off for more than one person. And Sean the Drone reported too, but he's not the only one. A couple of people, the tips have broken off, but without a crash. So something to be on the lookout for, I guess.
But I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say DroneOki is a good comment up here. You can't even register drone right now because the I guess drone zone shut down because of the government shutdown.
Yeah, and that's the same thing like with FCC. They're shut down. So like if you're pass a ham radio exam and get your license, you actually physically won't get your license from them right now until the government.
But the FCC shut down. How come they're doing all this voting? They're doing all this stuff. Somebody's not shut down the FCC. Right? I don't get that. The government shut down. How are they doing all these votes and doing all this, implementing all this stuff? The only people working are people that we don't want working.
I can't answer that, Ron. I don't know. I really don't know.
Ron,
but let's get on to the hot topic.
DeMarco's got something, Ron.
Ron, DeMarco. I was just gonna say it's simple now to say only buy OEM because we're new to this whole shutdown but like give it 3-4 years when we can't get the OEM.
We may change our tune about OEM.
But the
spot on
one thing, batteries is what I'm worried about. It's the batteries.
But I talked about this before, DeMarco. Even when I keep a drone for 3-4 years, I don't know as long as I've ever kept a drone. I've had the Air 2S since the day it came out, and I just sold it a couple months ago, end of summer. And the batteries that came with it still worked perfectly. Still flew for the same amount of time, basically did when I got. So I've never had a DJI drone battery like go bad.
Okay, batteries, Ron. But what about the props? Huh?
A lot of drones I never changed the props on. I may still have the original props on that Air 2S. So
Ron, you were saying about the Brett. One of them went bad on me. That was the FPV drone. So I had 6 that I bought from Lon, and one of them went bad. So
Well, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying that it's not for most people, it's not a common occurrence. I know the Air 2S battery, it's swell for people who live in hot environments like Bill. I know Ken Dono had a problem, his battery swelling. So, I mean, there are cases, no doubt.
Did you see Bill Grace's comment?
No,
I'm way behind.
Magnaflux the props every 25 hours.
I'm still looking for
Except
it
that's for manned aircraft.
Okay.
That's a guy with a military background right there. That's what
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get off all this stuff and get on the DJI Neo 2, which was released in China last week. I believe we did the launch party on Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Now, I know Marco, you weren't there because obviously you were getting the kids to school and all that stuff. But
I was watching.
Probably you watched it. Yes, you were in the chat.
I was sleeping.
DeMarco was asleep. DeMarco was asleep, but DeMarco was there in the chat. Now, you've got time to reflect a little bit, look over the stuff, and you don't actually have. You don't have the Neo 1, so you have a different perspective than the rest of us. What are your impressions about the Neo 2? Is a drone you'd be interested in maybe purchasing? Maybe your last DJI drone for a while.
No. I mean, since it came out with the first one, I wouldn't use it much at all. And like I know, like you guys have said that the kids would use it though, but like with my crew, there's no way that I'm giving them that. They would take off with it. I'd never see it again. And then they'd be like, "Dad, it just flew away." So
I got you. So okay. Bill and I talked about it in the live show a little bit, but we'll let Marcus go next. Marcus, you got a chance to look over, a lot of the specs of this drone, and you watched that Chinese review of the drone. What are your impressions so far? And even as far as comparing against the original Avata 1.
Well, there's no question it's an improvement. But the biggest deal for me, like the original Neo, to me, it's just a great little drone. The downside, and Ron and I talked about this a lot, was the camera. The camera looked pretty good if you were close up. Anything very, very far away, and it started losing definition and sharpness and so forth. Now, so that's what they addressed. They improved the camera. It's a 1/1.3, I believe, Ron, that they put on this new camera.
Well, let's kind of clear this up here. There's been a lot of confusion. A lot of people out there say, "Oh, it's the same sensor." The same sensor is not the same sensor. The original Neo had that smaller, like one, barely, that one, and what is it, one something. And this is a half-inch sensor. But the problem is, most of the speculators or leakers said it would be the 1/1/3 sensor that the Mini 4 Pro and them had. But it got the half inch. So it basically had the same sensor. The Neo 1 had that real small sensor that same was on the Mini 1.
Had a tiny little sensor. And so the reason that that's particularly important on a drone like the Neo is because it uses electronic image stabilization. So it's moving that image around on that little sensor. So the bigger the sensor, the better. And they address that. So, all we've seen is some video from China, but it looks pretty good. So that's a huge deal. Now, the other thing that helps, I think, is the way they improve that. You can just look at the front of the drone and you can see what mode that it's in. They put LiDAR on the darn thing, so if that'll help it do a little better job of obstacle avoidance, that's awesome too. But the cool thing about the original Neo is it was so light, and with those ducted props, it was practically indestructible. Even if it ran into something, it didn't affect it in any way. The other thing that they addressed was the noise, so that's an improvement. As long as they can keep the price in line, which I hope that they can. It's just a runaway hit, and I'll order one for sure.
From eBay.
Well, that's it. We'll have to get them off of eBay or Canada or whatever, but yeah, we won't be able to go through traditional.
Well, we've seen people claim that U.S. sellers claim to have them, but they've marked them up like, what was the one Johnny found right away? $1,299.
Yeah, there's some stupid prices, and you're a fool if you pay those prices. But yeah.
But just a correction, like I said, it doesn't have the same sensor as the Neo 1. It's a bigger sensor. And
so Ron, I'm going to look it all up while you're talking here. So let me.
I got breaking news here. Lou from Drone Angels. He's saying he just went over to Drone Zone and it is up and running. So that you can't register a drone was false information that we said earlier. So thanks for doing that, Lou. Okay, let me go to Bill now. Bill, we did the launch show. We kind of saw the information live, but you've had time to sit back and you probably watched that Chinese unboxing video too. And I say Chinese unboxing. I have it pinned up on DroneNation.
Right.
If you go on YouTube, you can have it speak US instead of Chinese. So you can. It's not the translation that great, but you can hear. But anyhow, Bill, you've had time to look things over, reflect, and whatever. What are your thoughts after a couple days in on the Mini 2?
Well, the first thing is I went out to eBay today. You can buy the video transmission module. You can buy the charging base. You can buy extra props. You can buy extra batteries right now. They're all available out there from Chinese sellers.
And that antenna thing's real cheap too. It's not a lot of money.
These are very inexpensive. They're priced like pretty much what you would expect them to be. Okay. Now the batteries were like close to $100, $75 to $100 kind of a thing. But it's pretty much what you would expect. The charging base, the props, that video module that you attach to the back of the drone, all of those were out there and available right now, which means, that you're going to be seeing some legit Neo 2 listings. I would say from what we're understanding, and I'm not sure if it was Igor or Jasper posted this, November 8th is, I think, when they'll be available over in Europe and the UK. I did see some news about that. So I would expect, coming the 8th or so, for them to be out there on eBay from these sellers. And again, when you go out there, if this is something that you want to get, please vet these sellers on your own. Just because I might say it, or Ron or Marcus or DeMarco, if we've used them, don't take our word for it. Go out there, vet them to your interests, okay? Because a lot of times, like for instance, what I found out, I ordered a lot of accessories from China. None of them, and I mean none of them, had tariffs on it, and they didn't say anything in the listing. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I just wanted to point out, I just looked up the specs on the sensor size. So the Neo is the original Neo is a 1/2.3, and the Neo 2 is a 1/1.3. And remember, the smaller the number, the bigger the sensor. So it's not quite a 1/2-inch sensor. The other critical thing is that the Neo 2 will shoot in 60 frames per second. So in 4K. So that's a big thing.
So just a misnomer. People saying it's the same sensor is not the same sensor. It is a bigger sensor. No matter what the fractions are, it's a bigger sensor.
The other thing that I think is important that I forgot about too is it also has more memory.
Much more. Yeah, much more.
Yeah, the Neo doesn't have an SD card slot, so it's all internal memory. And now they like tripled the memory in it.
I mean, it went from the low 20s to the high 40s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and as far as
the bit rate was slightly increased, not a whole lot. It went from like 70 to 80. So people are a little disappointed that the bit rate didn't go up more. So. But that it did go up slightly.
I think to finish my thoughts here, I think it's going to sell really well. I think, like Marcus said, as long as it's priced right, okay, I think that's going to be a key to get it priced right. And also, as we talked about, you and Johnny and I talked about that morning of the release, be smart in which one you will get, because you won't need to get like an N3 or an R2 controller. All you'll need to get is the Verge, the Flymore combo, with a version that has the antenna, or has the video transmission adapter, whatever they call that, with the antennas that's on the back there, because you already have, if you have an N3 or an R2, it's going to work with that. So you don't need to go ahead out and get that extra controller package.
Question, Bill. Okay, so the original Neo, it didn't have that add-on thing on it, and it worked with the RC2 and the RCN3. Why does this one need to have an add-on?
Because I think it's a different OcuSync on it. I think that's why. And also too, the range, as we looked at when we went out on Thursday morning, the range is like at least tripled what the original Neo is.
Okay, that's good. That's a good point, Bill. But my question is this: I took my little Neo out one time and I flew it about, I don't know, 350 meters away. And trust me, you talk about visual line of sight. Yeah, I mean, so my point is this: why would you ever have a reason to fly a little drone like that any further than 100 or 200 meters away? I can't.
Oh, I agree with you.
People will, Marcus. People will do it.
I know they will, but I don't know why you.
Let me go off what you were saying here. Without the module, just buying just the drone itself without that module, the old Neo one got 50 meters on Wi-Fi. This one claims to get 500 meters on Wi-Fi. So we greatly improved the Wi-Fi range. And
you're talking about just with your phone. That's
just with your phone, or well, I guess you fly from your hand or whatever. But I think they're positioning this drone more than Neo 1 to be more of a non-controller drone, more of a fly with your phone or just a palm drone. So I think maybe that helps keep the size and weight down some way. But what you were saying, Bill, if you have all the gear, don't even buy the kit that comes with any controller. Just buy the base kit that doesn't come with that module, and then buy the module separate, real cheap on eBay.
Right, you can buy the module and the batteries. Right, I mean, they're available. Like I said, they're available right now on eBay.
Battery combo. Just get the drone and the 3 batteries and the charging hub, and nothing else, and then just buy that module for $15 or whatever it is, $25.
It was $49 on eBay, but yeah,
the next kit, the kit that has the 3 batteries and the drone is semi price. Well, we know the prices already. Well, the prices are a slight bump up from the one. Looked like maybe the 10% slight bump or whatever. But where the big price jump comes is when the first kit that comes with the controller and the module, that is almost double that other kit, the smaller kit. So instead of paying double the price, buy the lesser combo and just get the module for $49, and you've saved a couple $100 because you've already got. Like I have every single controller and goggles that work with the Neo 2 already in my house, my possession at this time. I don't need to I don't need to collect controllers. And I know Marcus,
I want to work with the RC Pro too.
Whatever, and that is kind of nice. But I like kits, but I also don't want to have a collection of controllers around.
Agreed. One of the other things with this too, and people need to be aware of this, okay? And if you're new to the Neo or Neo 2 and you're interested in something like this, if it's over 10 mile an hour in winds or 15 mile an hour in winds, you can't fly this drone, okay? It's not going to happen, all right? Seriously. If you're thinking it's going to be like a Mini 5 Pro up there, that's not going to happen, all right? You got to have, it's got to be calm.
Unless you intend to fly at about 5 feet off the ground, you can get away with real low flying, like just film yourself with a little wind. But if you're going to take it up 20, 25 feet, you're in trouble.
Yeah. You're going to have, you really got to be wary of the wind with this, okay? Because it will flip on you. No questions asked. You got to be very, 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 but if you're out there on a calm day, when it's a calm day, get it up there, have some fun with it. I mean, it's going to be a fun drone. It's going to, like Ron said, it's going to stick pretty close to what the pricing of the original was, which is good, and it's going to improve. I like the better camera. I like the ability to control that with a normal controller. I like the increase in the storage in there. I like 4K 60 in it. It checks a lot of buttons. I really like it.
When the Neo is the most fun, when you're not using any controller at all and you're just using it for those little B-roll shots, getting a little droney, getting a little orbit. When I took mine to Spain with me and I used it for those kind of things, and it's just perfect for that. It's so quick and easy to throw that thing up in the air and you get a quick droney or you get a quick orbit.
And Marcus, I'm going to build off that, but I got to get 2 comments in so I can move on here. D-Do Fellows says optical avoidance is the best new feature. Not as that blotter, but it does it by the little things. It has real good optical avoidance on it. And also, we forgot to mention, it has a 2-axis gimbal instead of a 1-axis gimbal. So that's going to help. That's going to prevent the drone from cropping in too much. So nice call out by Take It Off, and a nice job by D-Do Fellows that it has true optical avoidance now.
So that tracking again is another one of the great features about it, and using it without any kind of controller. I've test these e-bikes once in a while, and I could put that thing in my pocket. I could take it out, throw it up, and that thing would follow you. And I realized the current version doesn't have any kind of obstacle avoidance, but it would follow your exact path. So it did quite well.
And those features, this has, I believe 4 new features, 4 new, filming features. And I can't remember the names of them. But
yeah.
It adds a lot more of those features. Plus, what we didn't talk about, Bill, one of Bill's favorite things, it has gestures. Now, I don't mean the kind of gestures you get when you're in the highway and you're going too slow. You get gestures out there too. But this harkens back to maybe like the Spark era, where you'll be able to almost like what do you call it?
You're going like this.
You can almost starboards that you could use the force to move the drone around in space.
Well, so one of the things where I can see that would be huge is in tracking mode. I want to see how it works when one of us gets a hold of one. But supposedly when you're tracking and say it was in front of you, you could do that gesture and you could move the drone to the side of you, and then it would be tracking you from the side, which that's huge. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, but I was talking about
Bill, before you go on, can you answer Key's question here? Will this potential DJI ban affect all other products, Osmo Pocket 3, etc., or just the drones from DJI?
Osmo Pocket 3 would be affected because it would use Wi-Fi to do firmware updates.
Well, okay. I don't know if he means retroactive or price going forward or
Well,
whatever.
again, they would have to be named specifically to be on that list. Well, okay,
Right.
let me back up here. Okay, if DJI goes on the covered entity list, then it would be anything. All right, but that's going forward, not going backwards.
Right.
As far as
Right.
that's
Right.
concerned.
Right. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. Okay. Good. Thanks for helping him out there. So yeah. So you were talking about the gestures, Bill.
Yo,
Before
the
I cut-
gesture with the spark. Oh my gosh. I thought I was going to lose it. Okay. Because it worked like half the time when you were out there doing that. And I had so much B-roll, and Valerie and I were laughing out there because Valerie was out there with me. I said, watch what I can do. And I would do it. And then she'd walk inside. You're not doing anything. She'd go inside. And then I'd do the hand gesture and it would work. And I'd be like, yeah. It was, it was very hit or miss.
You're right. It was real hit. It was real hit and miss. And it was one of those features where you did it when you first got the drone and you never did it again.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm doing it and it's not doing anything. And then Valerie goes inside and then I do it and it does what it's supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, right. Yeah.
Intel Maxwell says the new isn't as good because its video bit rate is lower. The original new had a maximum bit rate of 75, while the new 2, according to leaked specs, increases the peak bit rate to 80. Yeah, that's what I've been reading too, Intel. So a slight bump. Nothing that the layman could probably see without looking at it on a gigantic screen.
Well, and one thing that I want to make everybody aware of, okay, you're going to use the Neo 2 for fun, okay? Like if you go to a picnic, if you want to do a family droning, that kind of stuff, okay? You're not out there doing a serious shoot of like a lake or a plane taking off or, things like, anything as far as like real videography or photography. You're using it for fun, okay? And that's what the whole point of that drone is. I mean, it's a perfect indoor type of drone with all the bumpers and guards on it and everything. So it would be fun to use.
Bill, the guards even look more robust than this one.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. And I'm sure, people like Dobo is going to have like 3D printed products like bumper guards and things like that. People come. I know he's done a real killing with that, and kudos to Ken for that. I mean, he's made a lot of money with all these 3D printed parts he's been selling. So I'm sure to go out there and look at original Dobo. I'm sure he's going to have something for the Neo too, for sure.
Hey, MHM Photography has a question for us. He said, I heard the Neo will not be supported in the U.S. and will not fly in the U.S. Is this true? Well, I believe you mean the Neo 2 because the Neo 1, of course, is already doing all that stuff. As far as we know, Bill, the Neo 2 has FCC approval already. So that means it will fly in the U.S., correct?
Oh, yeah. It's been approved. So it's good to go.
And well,
but
supported. It probably won't be supported by DJI as far as camera
right.
or
not because DJI doesn't want to. They cannot because they can't get parts into the country.
Right. So
any other country in the world can get them. Hey, land of the free and all that. We can't get them in the U.S.
And Johnny Dronefly is saying that it's like 10 times the range. It said, yeah, and that's what we talked about earlier. The original Neo had 50 meters in Wi-Fi, and this claims that 500 meters Wi-Fi. So to Marcus's point you made a little while ago, how much further do you need to go than 500 meters with a little drone? So you don't even need the module. You don't even need the module. Just go to 500 feet in Wi-Fi. I'm halfway joking because the module is going to give you 04, and that's going to let you go behind objects with the Wi-Fi's. Not going to let you go behind stuff.
Signal penetration is an issue. That's true.
Yeah.
Or is a benefit. Yeah.
So, So I think we covered a lot of ground here on the. So, I mean, I think I'm interested in getting the product here. I mean, Bill says the 8th. So we're talking next week on that, Bill. And of course, the Osmo Action 6 is rumored because we don't know if that'll be available here in November also. Bill, doing it at the Osmo Mobile 8, which got released in China the week, is that even FCC approved for the U.S.?
Yeah, because it would use it would use Wi-Fi to do firmware updates
Right,
to the
but I mean,
Nemo
did
app.
it get his FCC approval at some point,
Oh,
or
I
is
don't know. I don't
yeah, I
know
don't know
about that.
either. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyhow, when the new 2 comes out, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in probably. We know what the pricing should be, but we don't know how much markup is going to be charged on the internet. Somebody in the chat here said that the Mini 5 Pros on Amazon Prime, and it's been there for a week.
It has the prices range. Some people got it at regular prices, and others well, heck, I can tell you right now. Let me refresh, and I'll tell you right now. Right, yeah, $1,800. I mean, come on. So yeah, I don't know who's gonna.
Yeah.
Our good friend USA Drone Flyer just told us that he said per Lon, you may want to highlight his comment, Ron. He said Ken, according to Lon, was closing his 3D print store and selling his printers. Lon said that Sunday on Johnny's show.
Wow. Well, I mean, it makes sense the way if DJI drones are no longer coming to the U.S., right, there won't be a big demand for
Market's
parts,
right?
Yeah.
So,
hey, gang, I'm getting called to dinner, so
okay.
I'm gonna roll on out of here. But great conversation tonight. Thanks for coming on the show, Bill.
Oh, thank you for having me, Marcus. Enjoyed it.
Good night, Marcus.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, gents.
So, DeMarco, any kind of thoughts or comments you'd like to talk about here?
Hope it should be it for me. It's a sad time for us, the people in the hobby. If they told us like what the security threat was, I can take that a little bit easier. But not saying anything and just banning them is sort of hard to swallow. So sad.
I agree with DeMarco 100%. It's like, people have asked, like the two that are at the forefront of this are Senator Rick Scott and Congresswoman Stefaniak. And people have messaged him. He has an account on Twitter. People have messaged him ad nauseum, and also Congresswoman Stefaniak. I've actually emailed, because Rick Scott's my senator, because I live in the state of Florida. And I've actually sent a detailed email to him. And I said, please, if you could explain to us and show us why DJI drones are a national security threat, and all I get back, I got a form letter back from him about China being a threat to the United States. Well, yeah, we all know that. But why are DJI drones a threat to the United States? More than, say, an iPhone is a threat to the United States, and they're made over in mainland China. I mean, really here, it's so political. It's not funny. And like DeMarco said, it's very sad that our elected representatives can't be honest with us on really what's going on with this, because there's more than meets the eye to all this. And, I'll give you guys a clue. I posted a blog entry from a guy. He goes OH8STN. Julian is his name. He's a ham radio guy. He's an American expatriate, lives over in Finland. He put out a great blog post about what really is going on with this with DJI. And it's about a startup that's being funded here in Tampa, Florida, to build drones. And it's just a mess. It's just a total mess. Yeah. And Bill Grace is right too. So why hasn't any of our allies dropped DJI drones if China's such a national security threat?
And Alex says, Carter, it's all about money and politics missing. Bill, is of course, we've seen crazy stuff from the government for years or whatever, but have we ever seen forces, we'll say lobbyists, basically force a company out of business in the United States before like this? Is this a first? I mean, any industry. Anybody ever
I'll
been
go back
forced
to
out of the market like this before with no facts?
I'll go back to back to when Bell Telephone broke up. You remember that? Okay.
Big bells and all. Yeah.
They were deemed a monopoly, and the government just split them into 30 different entities because they were so big and they controlled so much. That's one of the only things I can kind of harken back to as far as they're concerned. One of the other things that I can think of too is Kodak. They stole the patent from Polaroid, and they put out a Polaroid like camera, and they got caught with that, and the government said, no, you can't do that, and shut that business part of Kodak down. I remember that as well too, but nothing on the scale of the government just absolutely stepping in. Well, they wanted to shut TikTok down, okay, because it was so bad.
There's a good example.
And they came to an agreement with them, okay? So what's the deal here? And I really think a lot of this is people have funds in these startup companies that are going to want to build drones here in the United States. Nobody's telling us the truth because they know the truth, because we're not going to like what they're going to tell us. All right. And you know what I say, I'm like, okay, these ones who are so pro for it, vote them out of office. But then I remembered Rick Scott is going to be a senator till 2030. So, I mean, it's like, and, Stefaniak, I don't know when she's up for re-election too, but I mean, it's just, it gets to a point that it gets to be fruitless. Now, what I got to say is this, with all of this, enjoy your drones right now, number one. Number two, if you want any of these drones that we're talking about, get them now. Get extra batteries, get extra props as well, okay? Come December 23rd, things, the game could change. And who knows? Somebody could throw a Hail Mary at the last minute and say, you know what? We're going to allow DJI to build a plant here in the United States, employ American workers. Yeah, you're going to pay more for your drones, but you'll have them. Who knows? A Hail Mary.
Bill, but you're absolutely right. The TikTok thing. Remember earlier, whatever was it earlier this year? TikTok actually did shut down for a couple hours before they got saved. So TikTok went down, and it was down for a few hours, and then it came back up again. So there was a last minute reprise for TikTok. So again, maybe what's the old saying, Bill? The game's not over until the fat lady sings.
Yep. Yogi Berra said that. I'll never forget that. Yeah. And it's the same is going to be true here, because I think they're pushing things to the breaking point with this. And realize this too, and a lot of people, because we don't know what the actual DJI's actual revenue is because they're a privately held company. Yeah. I've heard that up to 2/3 of their revenue comes from not just North America, but from the United States. Okay. Now, granted, they're over in Asia and the UK and Europe and Australia and so forth in Southeast Asia, and they have a great market penetration over there. But I've got to believe, and I think Lauren posted it, and but he posted different things. But I think up to 2/3 of their income comes from the United States, and I think they're going to do something about it. They're going to legally challenge this. I don't think it's going to happen on December 23rd. What my gut is telling me, this will be legally challenged and taken to court. Because that judge that supposedly ruled against DJI, he actually ruled in favor of them in a large part of that ruling about them being a company that works for the military. So there's legal challenges. DJI has a lot of money on the table here. They're not gonna say goodbye to most of their income just like that. They're gonna fight.
What's our buddy over DJI guy owns the company? Help me out.
I think it was 2011.
No, what's it? No, what's his name? What's DJI's president?
Frank Wang.
Frank Wang. He may have to sell a couple yachts off for something like that if this all happens, right? It could hurt his bottom line. Imagine. I do want to, before we get out here, I do want to mention that the Las Vegas Drone Meetup is this weekend. Bob Dempsey, Tom Dowling hosting out there. This is the second annual Las Vegas Meetup. I believe it begins on Friday with a meet and greet Friday night, and then Saturday there's a lot of different things going on, some workshops and things like that. So, I think you could, it is a ticket that has to be acquired, but I think you can still buy a ticket. Just ask, ping Bob or go over to his group and find out if you can still go. But I think you can. So, maybe a good time to get the drone meetups may not be as popular as they used to be anymore, Bill, if DJI goes away. So, get out there if you can and say hello to Bob. So just wanted to throw that out there. So, Bill, any final thoughts before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, we're going to continue the Neo 2 talk tomorrow night. We'll be talking about that and keeping an eye out for that. and also all the latest what's going on with DJI, because it seems new information comes out on a daily basis. So, and also don't forget Steeler Nation, because I got a boatload to talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, and I
Because-
need not only I got to give kudos for beating the Colts, but I gotta play catch up. I wasn't there last weekend. What happened in the second half of that Green Bay game? I mean,
they completely disintegrate. Well, their tight end their tight end for Green Bay, he was like what's his name the week before for the Bengals that caught like 6 or 7 passes in a row, and now he got hurt yesterday in the game yesterday.
But he got a year's worth of stats in that Green.
Everybody did.
Did anybody cover him the whole night, Bill?
They made adjustments, and the Steelers didn't. And Jordan Love just tore them apart, the defense apart. I mean, it was just ripped to shreds. Conversely, yesterday, okay, and this is a clue for tomorrow night. What we're going to talk about. Steelers had 6 turnovers, okay, but all right. Otherwise, their defense looked exactly the same. And you know what? You know how many points they got off of those turnovers? They got a field goal off of 6 turnovers. That's all they got.
Wow. And DeMarco, are the Bears looking at a playoff spot this year?
No. I'm not going to jinx myself.
They have a winning record, right?
Yeah, they're 5-3. Hey, I thought the same thing about my Seminoles when they beat Alabama. I was like, we're back. Well, so I'm not saying anything. So let it ride. Let it ride.
And I'll give an update here, DeMarco. It looks like you got money in the bank tonight. It's the third quarter, and the Cardinals are up 27-10 on the Cowboys. And Bill, if you think the Steelers defense is bad, you got to watch the Cowboys defense. I don't think they even employ anybody on defense anymore. I think when they traded, what's that guy they traded to Green Bay, the pass rusher, from Penn State, the $50 million man. Anyhow, I think he took the whole team with him and went to Green Bay. I think they still got a bunch of guys off the street playing defense. If they played the Steelers, I don't know if people would not be able to keep track of all the passing stats.
Well, they might be employing an old Steeler defensive coordinator. So that's all I gotta say.
I heard the current Steeler coordinator was on the hot seat.
Oh yeah. Well, they had a reunion this weekend. They had it was their Steelers Hall of Fame, the induction ceremony, and they had Dick LeBeau was there, okay, and he's the greatest defensive coordinator of all time. All right,
he was the blitz king, right? He always had the blitz going.
Oh yeah, and and James Harrison, and he goes back to the days when they had Greg Lloyd as a pass rusher and Kevin Green, okay, and wow, that was just some awesome defense. And Rod Woodson back there on the corner. Wow, you never threw in his direction because he was either going to knock that guy into next week or do a pick 6.
Well, yeah, LeBeau. I hope they didn't keep him around to see much of the game. He probably would start crying if he saw that the way the defense is played now.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
Yeah. So, okay, folks, I know we dissolved into football again here. I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat tonight, all the support and everything out there, all the great info, all the great questions. There's no bad questions. And I want to remind everybody, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bill the Drone Reviewer show's coming on. We're going to have a good show. And I believe Bill Thomas is still off again this week. His wife, you had the knee replacement. I don't believe he's doing a show Wednesday, but don't go totally by me. Keep an eye on his thing there. And Johnny Dronefly, I do believe Johnny Dronefly has a show this week. I believe they were off last week. So he has a show this week. Of course, Captain Ray will be on every Thursday. So another busy week here. And who knows, like Bill said, tomorrow we could have a whole list of new news tomorrow on DJI drones, on the anti-gravity drone or whatever. But real quick before we go, Bill, let's talk about this tomorrow night. Well, if the anti-gravity, if they've got their FCC approval, would they be wise to get that thing out the door before the 23rd in the U.S.?
Oh, that's a good point, Ron.
Why would they wait? Why would they wait till early January? I believe they need to get that thing out. I mean, I know they're not DJI, but when they say DJI, sometimes they say DJI and sometimes they say Chinese drone ban. So they would fall into the Chinese drone ban. So I think they need to get that thing out.
Yeah, that's going to be. We'll talk about that tomorrow night.
Yeah,
That's a good.
They need to have a lot of those units in U.S. warehouses before the 23rd.
Yeah,
because once it's in the U.S., they should be good, right? In the U.S. warehouse.
Yeah, once it's here, yeah.
So, real quick, DeMarco, do you have any interest in that anti-gravity drone, the Insta360 drone? Is that something it's on your radar at all?
No. I'm good for now. So
gotcha.
Cool though. Hey, it's nice to see some drones coming out to it though, but I'm not buying it.
Something new, yeah. I don't, it's one of those things, Bill. If I want it, I guess I got to get it. If I got to get it now or never, or whatever. But that's definitely the type of product I'd like to wait for generation 2, though.
Yeah, it's going to need to. It's going to be rough the first go around with that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. We'll continue some of this conversation tomorrow night. Definitely on the Build the Drone review.
Absolutely.
So, good night, folks. Everybody. It's November now. Won't be long before Black Friday and all the holidays are here. So get out and fly the drones now before you get too busy to do it. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.